There's a road outside my window that leads me out of town. Each day I think of leaving. When that sun goes down, I'll pack my bags and fill it up and head on down the road. Well, I'll head out to the highway on the far side of town, not knowing where I'm going, not knowing where I'm bound. I'll push that pedal to the floor and follow those white lines. And I drank whiskey and smoked cigarettes down the road of broken dreams. I'll listen to that radio and think those crazy things. I'll put the past behind me and head on down the road. But before I get too far away, I always come back home. It's been 6 months to the day that I saw your pretty face. Those eyes and that smile took my breath away. We talked for hours on the phone till we set a date to meet. We were both a little nervous 'cause our hearts were broke before. We both knew what we wanted. We wanted something more. And from the moment that I kissed your face, I've been coming back for more. And I dream of you each night that I sleep. And I think of you with each thought that I think. And I drank whiskey and smoked cigarettes down the road of broken dreams. I'd listen to that radio and think those crazy things. I'd put the past behind me and head on down the road. But those days are far behind me. Since the day that I met you, I've got a whole new feeling in my heart when you said I love you too. So don't worry about me leaving or heading down the road. 'Cause before I get too far away, I always come back home. Yeah, before I get too far away, I always come back home.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Are you ready? It's showtime. Please welcome Tim Kelly.
Look over there who just walked in. Still just as beautiful to me as she was back then. No, she ain't changed a lick. And I heard she's moved on and doing well. with that cross the room happy on her smile. It ain't hard to tell she was meant for someone else. He looks good on her like I did back then. He's holding on to her, man, I wish I had. And I still recognize those come and get me eyes. If I didn't notice, I'd be blind. He looks good on her. I guess I'll lay low and just pretend that it don't bother me at all. I'm seeing her with him. No, it don't hurt a bit. 'Cause he looks good on her like I did back then. And he's holding on to her, man, I wish I had. And I still recognize those come and get me eyes. If I didn't notice, I'd be blind. He looks good on her. He looks good on her like I did back then. And he's holding on to her, man, I wish I had. And I still recognize those come and get me eyes. If I didn't notice, I'd be blind. He looks good on her. And I still recognize those come and get me eyes. That's one lucky guy. Good on her.
His name is Michael McCall. That is called He Looks Good on Her. I love that one. He's making his radio debut tonight on the program. And before that, Mr. Roger Adams with a great tune called Home, opening the show as well. Welcome to Today's Country with yours truly, Tim Kelly, hosting the show. We are KICR, Indie Country Radio, and we are also syndicated on KUHSdenver.com. Big thank you to Henry Archuleta and all the fine folks over there. And Country Road 58 out of the country of Germany, my good buddy, Mr. Frank Hammer. Thank you for letting us put our program on your fine radio station as well. Now we are heard in over 190 countries. That is awesome, and I appreciate each and every one of you folks for tuning in. We are live right now from the live entertainment capital of the world, Branson, Missouri. And in the first 2 hours, we're going to play New Country's Best by indie artists. We got a lot of new artists going to debut on the program tonight. I'll kind of help walk you through it, tell you who they are, and where you can find them as well. And then in hour number 3, we're going to play the best in classic country music, and I got a bunch of good stuff loaded up for you tonight. You're going to absolutely love lots of your favorite country music. If you'd like to request, do that live in our chat room right now on Spreaker.com. Search KICR Indie Country Radio, and you can also request by email now. Just go to our website. You'll see our email address on there, but I'll tell you what it is right now. It is Indie, that is INDIE, Country Radio at yahoo.com. Got a couple of great radio interviews scheduled for tonight as well. Here in about 20 minutes or so, Mr. Dave Nudo from the Dave Nudo Band is going to stop by. And then in hour number 2, Mr. Dan Algan will talk to us, and we'll play their music and get you familiar with them. And we're going to have a good time tonight. Absolutely. We've got folks already in our live chat room. You can be one of them. Love to talk to you. And every once in a while, the artists hang out here too. So that's a cool deal. This next artist is making his radio debut on this station with this next song, but he's not new to the industry by any means. His name is Richard Lynch. He's an Indie Country Hall of Famer, and his latest single is called Rodeo Town on Today's Country from KICR, Indie Country Radio.
I heard her say down in Santa Fe, why don't you stay for a while? 'Cause it's cold out, snow is coming down. Maybe we could start us a fire. I remember now her enchanted smile, and I want you to look in her eye. She was a mystery, and she was made for me on that late December night. She's got my head in the clouds. She's got my world spinning around. A dark-haired beauty that I found in her sweet little rodeo town. Hey, I just knew I was passing through. I had to be on my way. My work was done and I'd had some fun. I had no reason to stay. I had a long way to go back to Ohio, but I couldn't get her out of my mind. So I turned it around to that rodeo town. I made that dark-haired beauty mine. She's got my head in the clouds. She's got my world spinning around. A dark-haired beauty that I found in her sweet little rodeo town. Dark-haired beauty that I found in her sweet little rodeo town. She's got my head in the clouds. She's got my world spinning around. A dark-haired beauty that I found in her sweet little rodeo town.
It's time for today's newest country music, Indie Country Radio, with Tim Kelly.
I held door from a stranger, a smile in the coffee line, the mailman knocking on your door with the letter you've been waiting for. Progress when you've been testing, mom texts when you've been stressing. Fresh sheets and a clean house can make all the difference somehow. A change in attitude from a moment of gratitude. It's the little things that matter, is that bit of hope for uttering when you get caught up in the rain, but you stay out anyway. It's the pushing me to plant a seed, that feeling free momentarily. It's a ray of sun on the first day of spring. It's the little things. It's the little things. It's hands up at your favorite concert. You're up front and you bought the t-shirt. A dinner date with that friend but you stay out anyway. The push you need, a planet seed, that feeling free momentarily. It's a ray of sun on the first day of spring. It's the little things. It's the little things. It's the little things. It's the little things.
Making her radio debut on KICR Indie Country Radio, her name is Allie Walker. That is A-L-L-I. Allie Walker, and a great tune called Little Things. And I love it, and got another one of hers as well. I'll play that on another show, and I'll be on another show tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Time, live from Branson, Missouri, in my basement studio. You can join me as well. Love to have you. We got some good music on the radio yet to play, so get everybody loaded up in here. Get on your social media pages and tell everybody we are on the air right now. Making his radio debut tonight, this next artist is Cooper Allen. This is called Tough Ones on Today's Country from KICR, Indie Country Radio, KUHSdenver.com, and Country Road 58, playing new country's best.
Love ain't supposed to be a walk in the park. If it was, we'd all have it. It's more like a blindfold reach in the dark, and you're lucky if you can grab it. Now your hands in mine, I'm gonna keep you close. No matter what curves the road's gonna throw, we won't let go. 'Cause we both know we're gonna be the strong ones, still standing when the hell comes, still running when the well runs dry, still believing when the sun don't shine, ain't afraid of a hard day's night, won't quit when it don't go right, let the world bring it then some. Girl, we're gonna be the tough ones, yeah, the tough ones. Ain't gonna say there won't be some days that'll give us all we can take, but we won't back down, we'll make it through somehow if we lean on love and faith. We're never gonna break, we're gonna be the strong ones, still standing when the hell comes, still running when the well runs dry, still believing when the sun don't shine, ain't afraid of a hard day's night, won't quit when it don't go right, let the world bring it then some. Girl, we're gonna be the tough ones, yeah, the tough ones. We found each other by the grace of God, so we better give it all the give we got. We're gonna be the strong ones, still standing when the hell comes, still running when the well runs dry, still believing when the sun don't shine, ain't afraid of a hard day's night, won't quit when it don't go right, let the world bring it then some. Girl, we're gonna be the tough ones, let the world bring it then some. Girl, we're gonna be the tough ones, yeah, the tough ones.
I love me some country music.
Hey man, I love country music.
Me too.
More of today's new country now.
I love the music.
You're listening to Indie Country Radio and KUHSdenver.com.
Now this is my kind of country. New country. New country. New country.
Might be dreaming, might be crazy, thinking you might love me maybe. just as much as I love you. There's a glimmer in your eye now. What I'm sure of, soon you'll find out. Oh, I want you, moonlight dancer. I won't take no for no answer. Someday you'll love me, it's written in the stars. Someday you'll need me to hold you in my arms. Someday you'll want me just as much as I want you. Someday you'll love me, I will be the one. Someday you'll need me, just call and I will come. Someday you'll love me just as much as I love you. Just as much as I love you. Someday you'll love me, it's written in the stars. Someday you'll need me to hold you in my arms. Someday you'll want me just as much as I want you. Someday you'll love me, I will be the one. Someday you'll need me, just call and I will come. Someday you'll love me just as much as I love you. Just as much as I love you. Just as much as I love you.
His name is Jonathan Lynn, and I'll be speaking with him 1 week from tonight. We'll hit the airwaves at 7 p.m. Central Time like we always do, and he'll be calling in at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Someday You'll Love Me is the title of that one. We'll probably play that during the interview next week. It is a fantastic song. Well, speaking of fantastic songs, this next gentleman from the state of Texas has a few fantastic songs. You got to go check out Mr. Randall King. This is called Hey Moon on Today's Country from KICR, Indie Country Radio, KUHSdenver.com, and Country Road 58.
Hey moon, it's me again, that guy that's always checking back in. How's she doing? I'm hoping better than I've been. Hey moon, there's someone you see that stands between her love and me, and I miss her. Damn, I miss her. Hey moon, I'm giving it all that I got. Hey moon, I'm down to my last shot, and I know that it's crazy talking to a rock in the sky. Oh, but I gotta try. Hey moon, is she looking up from her room and thinking of us? Has she been tucked in, wondering where I've been, dreaming about seeing me again? Hey moon, I'm giving it all that I got. Hey moon, I'm down to my last shot, and I know that it's crazy talking to a rock in the sky, but I gotta try. Hey moon,
Listen to KICR Indie Country Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, powered by Zeno FM. Download the Zeno app wherever you get your apps and search KICR Indie Country Radio.
He hangs his head low while he walks down the hall and locks himself in his room all afternoon and wonders why he's not the same, why he can't fit in, tears rolling down his face and fall. But he's had enough of it all, and he says, I'm not those things you say I am, and you don't have to be my friend, 'cause my God made me who I am. So let him talk, I'm not those things you say I am, and you don't have to be my friend, 'cause my God made me, my God made me, and who I am. So let him talk. She hears them talk, she sees them laugh, and wonders why they're so cool, crying to herself in the mirror. She hides her face and wipes her tears, hopes that they don't see, but they just stand and watch her fall. But she's had enough of it all, and she says, I'm not those things you say I am, and you don't have to be my friend, 'cause my God made me who I am. So let him talk, I'm not those things you say I am, and you don't have to be my friend, 'cause my God made me, my God made me, and who I am. I'm not those things you say I am, and you don't have to be my friend, and my God made me who I am. Let him talk, I'm not those things you say I am, and you don't have to be my friend, 'cause my God made me, my God made me, and who I am. So let him talk.
That is brand new music from Colton Chapman, making his radio debut on the program, and that is called Let 'Em Talk. Colton Chapman. Well, speaking of Let 'Em Talk, this is what I usually do about this time of night. Got a great radio interview lined up with a good friend of mine, and I believe it's our second radio interview, Mr. Dave Nudo from the Dave Nudo Band. How are you?
Doing real good, thanks.
Thanks for coming on the program. We appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, been looking forward to this one. We were talking off the air a little bit, and that nasty thing that's been going around for about a year or so, that little pandemic thing, caught up with me, so we had to reschedule this interview for tonight, and I appreciate you doing that for me.
Absolutely. Yep. It's a pleasure.
Appreciate it. Yeah, well, you're in Idaho, and tell us what the weather's like out there. I know this polar vortex has come through. I'm in Branson, and there's a foot of snow in my backyard, drifts-wise.
Yeah, we're having about the same. It's pretty bitter cold right now. I mean, we were about 2 degrees this morning. I don't know if that's relatively cold for all your listeners, but it's cold to me.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, we got about a foot and a half, something like that.
People tell me all the time to act my age. Well, today, if I could act the temperature, that'd be great. It was 21 today, and tonight we'll go back down to 7. So I might need Mom to tuck me in.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to get chilly tonight here too. We set a record a couple of nights ago, 13 below. Here in the middle of the country, yeah. So I feel so sorry for those people up north that are, 35, 45 below zero actual temperature.
No
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's pretty cold.
Yep. Hey, I got a good buddy of yours. I think you know Mr. Tony Olson from the Tony Olson Project. Just said hello to you in my live chat room.
Oh, well, if you can say hi back, tell him howdy.
Yeah, absolutely. You just did. He's listening to us live, and
all right.
Yeah, probably play one of his songs too here in a little bit. Had a great radio interview with him, and he hangs out in here all the time. We love that. And
awesome.
When the artists come in here in this live chat room we got going on, that's almost like an instant play. You don't even have to request. I'm going to push the play button on one of your songs. So.
Yeah, Tony's a great writer, great songwriter, and an author as well.
Yep. And when you come in and do a radio interview, I play 2 of your songs. So that's what's going to happen for you tonight.
Excellent.
Yep. Well, you're a great country rock artist. And, man, I don't know how we found each other, but we have interviewed before in the past and known of each other for quite a while now. And I sure still love your music, man. You got some new stuff out, a duet that I'm going to play with Dusty Lee, who I interviewed a few weeks ago. And, you guys are still doing your thing out there in Idaho. And I'll ask you, like I ask her, too, what's without this pandemic, what's the country music scene like out there?
Actually, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was. I've, as you said, country rock. I used to kind of hang out more in the rock scene about a decade ago, and that seemed to be booming, and I didn't know there was any country bands at all, and I'm not really sure there were at the time, but boy, I tell you what, there's a lot of good country bands around here, a lot of like Idaho, like homegrown kind of country.
Yep.
It's sort of a sound of its own, some of the Idaho guys around here, but lots of talent, of talent,
well,
good songwriters.
Yeah, and I tell you what, working with Dusty Lee, and I'm amazed by her vocals. That song 99 Halos is an absolute hit on any radio station.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and she knocked it out of the park.
She sure did.
I got to do the harmony vocals on that, by the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, give a big shout out to the studio that you guys use out there as well.
Oh, yeah, we did our vocals at least here at Audio Lab in Garden City, Garden City.
Okay.
It's right there next to Boise.
Nice.
Audio Lab. Steve Fulton, he's also on our label with us as well. So, but he's a great engineer, and he tries to get the best out of you when you're in there singing into his microphones. So,
cool.
Yep. Steve Fulton, great guy. Audio Lab.
There you go. And I see you got a couple of gigs coming up on your schedule, too, if this is still correct. I'm looking at your Reverb Nation. You're going to be at the Indian Creek Steakhouse on next Friday and Saturday night?
Yes, we are. We're going to play a show with Dusty Lee on Saturday.
Awesome.
As well. So, actually, we've kind of joined forces for a short period of time here. She's had some issues with some band members and not being able to do it anymore. So, So we're kind of collaborating shows. Like she's kind of joining us on our stage, and we're learning, all of the music that she's trying to put out, and great stuff.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it. Yep.
Absolutely. Well, we'll talk about that in a second, and remind me if I forget. But I want to talk about, keeping a band together and what the struggles of that are like, because you're called the Dave Nudo Band, unless you're going to change that up too in the near future. But how did you get into music in general? Now, you started out maybe liking rock music, but, and tell us about your country music influences and what kind of music you listen to there.
Well, okay. Yeah, I've been in the rock scene quite a bit. For a long time I was, but I started out in a country band, like a country rock and blues cover band, but we wrote country-ish songs. We didn't play a lot of them, but that's kind of what we, cowboy hats and vests and all that stuff. So, but that kind of broke up, and I ended up in doing some kind of hard rocking stuff, but anyway, I got influences across the board. Alabama is one of my favorite all-time bands, of course.
Can't go wrong there.
Yeah, right. And with the all the harmonies and the vocals and that kind of stuff. That was what my first band was like. It was almost like a vocal group, like Diamond Rio or that kind of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But and then Metallica is my favorite band in the world. So
there you go. Hey, you got the posters in your room?
Well, I've got a couple of items, not necessarily posters, but yeah.
Okay, there you go. Got to have those.
Magazines and pictures and stuff. But no, I mean, as far as like the way that I've been leaning really heavily into writers like Luke Combs and Chris Stapleton. I mean, of course, they're at the top and everything, but
oh yeah.
But those two guys, man, I'm blown away by the way they write and the songs they put out. So I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, well, the whole world was when I saw Chris Stapleton keep walking up on that stage. Man, he got up on the CMA stage so many times I would have got tired walking up there. Being awarded for that, and and getting recognition in the world of country music, because he brings back a sound that everybody talks about. Nashville is missing right now.
Absolutely,
with some of the country music being made today, and he's kind of brought that back and got rewarded for it very well. And Luke Combs is the same way. I mean, he's got the voice of country music.
Absolutely, and he kind of brought back a 1990s vibe, I suppose, with the songs that he was putting out, at least the last record.
Yeah,
Luke Combs. So it was like, I can latch onto that. That's kind of some of the stuff I grew up on, and it's a good sound. It's a good sound for country music, and I don't have a problem with bringing back some of the good old stuff,
We appreciate it, man. That's what I love to hear. And Richard Lynch from the Richard Lynch Band does great traditional country music out of Waynesville, Ohio. He was the third song I played tonight, brand new song, and love his stuff. And I love that traditional country music sound. And then put it together in a band, kind of like Alabama does,
Absolutely.
They even wrote a song about it. You got to have a fiddle in the band,
right.
or the steel guitar in there. And I asked Richard that, how do you make country music sound traditional? And it's a little bit of all of those things.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm still thinking about putting a fiddle player in the band.
That's awesome.
But we do got a pedal steel. Sam Rothwell is one of the best in the valley here, in the Treasure Valley in Idaho.
Sweet.
Maybe, I just, boy, that really brings country to the songs, don't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pedal steel.
And there's a gentleman that I play in the classic country music hour too a lot that put a piano in there by the name of Ronnie Millsap.
Oh, yeah.
Can't go wrong with a piano in country
Absolutely.
music. Absolutely. I love that.
That's right.
Yep. So, yep, that's some good stuff, man. When it hits that keys on Smoky Mountain Rain, I mean, that just makes the song.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So tell us about putting a band together and keeping a band together, and how long some of you guys have been together, and you probably become like brothers doing for what you do, and out on the road all the time.
Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah. We get along well too, so that's good.
That's awesome.
I've got a great group of guys. We've been together for this band that I have together right now. We've been together for, let's see, it was the 4th of July, not the last one we had, but the one before it. That basically all those guys joined the band at the same time, except for my longtime member Mitch, Chrome Red, I call him. He was there from 2017 or something like that. But these guys, I had a couple of members quit kind of at the same time, and I had a gig the next weekend, and it was like, who can I call? Well, I called a friend, my friend Wade Houston, Dusty Lee's husband. And he gave me some numbers of some musicians, and I got a hold of them. And before he knew it, we never had a rehearsal, but they learned my songs, and then we played a bunch of covers that we all knew. Yeah. And did 3 gigs in a row over the 4th of July weekend that year with brand new members. It was great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Wade Houston, man. I tell you what, we have never spoken on the phone. I just need to pick it up and call him one of these days. But
you ought to. He's got a nice sounding voice.
Yeah, there you go. And he's just an awesome dude. And we're trying to put together a music festival. I don't know if you heard about it or if he told you a little bit about it.
Actually, he did mention that to me, and I'm stoked.
Yeah, he kind of does something similar to that, which he's postponed too, and we're looking at maybe even having to go clear as far out as November this this coming year to do it because of this COVID stuff. I just think May would be too soon right now. But we want to do a 3-day music festival outdoor with the option to go indoor if the weather, doesn't cooperate. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just all music, food, fun, barbecue cook-off, chili cook-off contest, funnel cakes, vendors, and stuff like that. I think we would have a great time and just listening to you guys play. And
absolutely,
he's kind of give me a few pointers and give me the website of his festival, and so we're thinking about putting something like that together here in Branson, Missouri, because I think that's some kind of live entertainment this town is starving for. And
absolutely,
before
town.
before the pandemic hit, they set a record here in Branson. In 1 year, they had 8.5 million people come through this little town of 10,000.
Holy smokes!
So, and these folks my age and up, these seniors that come to this town, love the kind of music that you guys make, the independent artists. They know who you are before before you guys start playing. I mean, they're wearing Cody Jinks t-shirts around here, and
all right.
They know a lot of these independent artists, and Ward Davis, good buddy of mine, is fantastic. Probably a bunch of folks that I mean, Sonny Sweeney, there's just a ton of them out there.
Well, I know of them at least.
Yeah, same here. Isn't that amazing too? As many artists as there is out there in this indie, what I call kind of an indie community, and indie means basically you're independent, you're not signed to a major label, but they all kind of help each other out. They know each other, and they support each other's music. They make duets together. I see some of that going on.
Absolutely,
they're opening for each other. This Randall King that I just played before you came on. Is opening for, they're opening for him down in Texas now. I think he's going to be the next George Strait.
Oh, cool.
But, you got like Cody Hibbard and Josh Ward, guys like that from Oklahoma and Texas opening for him. And,
cool.
It's just a neat community, and you guys are also down to earth and just good.
Absolutely.
Good
that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what I love about doing these interviews, is really getting to hear the stories behind your songs and why you do what you do. It's a passion, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yep.
We talked about what I do for a living before we got on the air. My passion's doing this on Thursday and Friday night, that radio thing. But, if you can make it in this business for 10 years and walk away from it, and have great success, and have a few hit songs and do something like Randy Travis did or some of those guys, I mean, that's some pretty good success, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's kind of the goal now. I mean, I kind of gave up on one of my main sources of income to push really hard to get playing live shows and releasing new music and all that stuff. It all costs money, and but when you're out playing, you're making money too. So that's and I can do that. I'm a worker.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that too off of the air. We work harder at doing what we're passionate about than our regular gigs that pay us.
That's right. I like how it says the entrepreneur's coat of arms or whatever he says. I work 90 hours a week so that I don't have to work 40 hours a week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I get hit up with this 24/7, and I don't mind that at all. When somebody like Wade Houston hits me up on Messenger or sends me a text, I as soon as I see it, I answer him back, because I like to be on top of things too. And he is very good. I mean, he's one of the best promoters. And even though he's promoting his wife and he promotes you some too,
yes, he does.
He's one of the best ones out there in this crazy business of music.
Absolutely, and if you want a genuine dude that's going to deliver what he says he's going to deliver, that's Wade Houston.
That's it. And how did you guys meet?
Well, right after I released my first album called County Line, at least through with this band, County Line, we I don't know, I called it the Knitting Factory to see if they had any slots open to where we could come and play there. That's a pretty big venue. So, but anyway, this band called Cashed Out is like the premier Johnny Cash tribute band.
Yeah,
was coming through town, and they needed some opening acts, and somehow Dusty Lee's band and me and my band ended up opening up for this guy on the same bill. So that's where it started. If it wasn't for that song called Lean Into Me, I don't think any of Wade would have taken as much interest in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But he kind of fell in love with that song, and then that just basically sparked a pretty good relationship here. And gosh, I'd say if I'm doing 90% more than I would have had I not met Wade.
Well,
he's a go-getter.
That is awesome, and I love that story too, right there, because I really truly believe it's one or two songs that hit that can get you noticed and get you out there, and maybe big hits on the Billboard chart. And you had a couple. One's "Lean Into Me" and another one called "Live in It." And we talked about "Live in It" off the air. You're going to re-release that song. So
Yep.
you came out with that in 2017, and I've been doing this for 8 years, and so we started playing it right after you come out with it. And
nice.
I love that song. You know, we give it a lot of spins back then, and I'm glad to hear you're going to re-release it because
through the label.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
It seems like it'd probably be a better idea. You know, you can get a little bit more notoriety with it when you release it through the label than I did on my very own. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that song actually I wrote that one kind of thinking about my daughter. Tiffany, and you know, it's just one of them things. You only get one life, man.
Yeah.
Live in it.
That's absolutely the truth, man. I'll tell you what, and even people realize that even more now with this pandemic going on. You know, tomorrow has never been promised, but to see what this has done so quickly to so many is, you know, it's really a sad thing. But you know, I talk to artists all the time since, you know, doing these radio interviews. I'm booking 2 per show now, and most of them will tell you that this thing, one good thing has come out of it. You know, they've had more time to sit down at home and reflect on things and write more music out of it. Some of them even.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you bet.
Let's talk about that too. You being a songwriter, you know, what is your writing style? Do you wake up at 3:00 in the morning and have to write something down, finish it later, or do it all right then, or get the hook first and then put the lyrics? Or
you know, it really just depends on what it is and where it's coming from. But that song that you were talking about, the duet that with Dusty Lee called "Like You Were Forbidden," that was one of those where it's, you know, you're waking up in the morning not quite awake, and then this lyric and a melody comes into your head like a freight train, and it wakes you up. So I had to get up, and I grabbed my phone and made a little voice recording of what had hit me in my slumber there. And about a half hour later, I had the first half of that song written, and it was like it just sort of wrote itself. And you know, that's when I'm feeling like, now that was sent from somebody else.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. You know, and I hear that too. You know, I believe writing music is such a talent, but you know, you guys have a God-given talent. You know,
absolutely,
and putting the vocals in it too. You know, and now I don't ask too many artists this, but at what point in your life did you know that you could sing?
Oh, well, you know, when I was a little kid hanging out with my mom, she's always been a singer too. You know, she'd get up and sing with some of the local bands and that kind of stuff, but very shy, but she did really love to sing. So she was doing it all the time at home. And then, you know, in the car riding along with her, we'd be singing together on stuff. And that's kind of where I learned how to harmonize too. So, and, you know, it's just always was there. I remember being 4 or 5 years old, like singing Alabama songs in the front yard, you know, you know, playing in the woods or whatever. Yeah. But,
now, what about getting up on the big stage in front of a lot of people? Is that something that you had to overcome for stage fright and performing in live shows?
Well, I guess I was a lot more awkward when I was younger. When I was about 21 years old, I went out and did this cool thing called karaoke. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
I have. My daughter's hooked on it.
Yeah. Anyway, so the first time I ever went up, and it was a song that, you know, that I'd been singing in my car for a couple years. One of them Def Leppard songs called "Two Steps Behind." So it was a pretty easy song to sing. Yeah. But I grabbed the microphone and I'm all nervous, and the music starts and I start to sing, and my hand's shaking so bad I almost dropped the microphone. But you know, I did it, and I was actually at the bar, but I was intent on being sober at the bar to sing properly or whatever. I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Guess I just wanted to get over it on my own.
My daughter's better the other way around, she said.
Yeah, well, Yeah, things have changed probably a little bit since then. I don't mind. It doesn't really matter to me that much that way anymore. But I don't know. I guess I needed to get over it at least on my own.
Yeah.
Because I think I thought I was going to be be a music man. So I figured it out. I got her straightened out that day.
That's wild. Now, let me ask you this before we get into the songs. I'm going to play a couple of yours here in just a moment, but I want to ask you, what's Dave Nudo's dream gig? Have you already done it, or is there an artist that you could that you would love to perform with live on stage, or do or open for, or do a duet with? Who would some names be? Living or past, doesn't matter.
Gosh, man, that's well, my first obvious answer to that was I'd love to do a gig with Chris Stapleton. He's got such a way about him and a great voice, and I think I could mesh up well with him.
There you go.
Him and Morgan, Anyway, but I have a lot of people that I would say that about. I'd love to get up on the stage with those guys from Diamond Rio.
Yeah.
Sing along with them. Alabama. I don't know if you ever heard of this band called Boys to Men.
Yep.
You remember those guys?
I do.
They were so good at that harmony stuff, man. We used to sing that stuff in the car. I'd do a show with those guys if they'd let me.
Yeah. See, I started DJing 80s music, and I think that's when they come up, was in the 80s. I was doing the Whitney Houstons, the Journeys, REO Speedwagons, all that kind of stuff. I think that's around Boys to Men era.
All right. Well, yeah, that was like in the 90s.
90s, maybe, yeah.
The 90s was Boys to Men. They were pretty huge then.
Okay.
But, yeah. Yeah, Luke Combs. If you can get him online, I'd do a show with him. I'd open up for him.
I did an interview with a gentleman, this has been maybe 2 years ago, and he told his girlfriend, he said, hey, I want to take you to a concert tonight. She goes, okay, who are we going to go see? He goes, we're going to go see a guy by the name of Luke Combs. She goes, who in the world is that?
Yeah.
2 years later, here we are, and she knows now.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
And that's how quick it can happen for you, a couple of songs, like you've got a couple of those kind of songs, man, I'm telling you.
Oh, well, thanks.
They can just hit, and then the rest is history, as they say.
Well, I'm still praying for it,
yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Well, let's put one on the radio and see what the folks listening to us think of it. You could do better is the title of it. Did you write this one?
Actually, no, that one was sent over to me. It's the only song I've ever released that I didn't write.
Okay, wow. See, that's why I asked these questions. I did not know that. So,
yeah.
What? Now, let's talk about that. What made you want to take on this song, and what is it like to put your emotions and your words or your feelings to somebody else's words?
Well, if it's relatable to me, that's a pretty easy thing to do. And it is, it's easy. This song's kind of about being a little under par for the gal you're with, and that's it's easy to get into character for that, for me anyway. It's one of those songs that was pretty easy to get into and sing it, and put my spin on it, and I don't know, it's just one of those, and it was a cool tune, so it sounded kind of up my alley a little bit at least, and so I decided to go ahead and take a chance. It was kind of weird, actually, honestly, to take a song that I hadn't written, because I've never even really contemplated doing such a thing. But when it was presented to me, I balked at it initially, and then I listened to the song again, and it was like, you know what? This is one of those songs. It's a good song. It sounds like everything I'm trying to, it sounds like it fits right onto the radio immediately. So
that's awesome.
Let's give her a
Tell us a little bit about that process for folks who are just listeners and aren't in this industry and aren't familiar with how that works. When you hear a song like that, and how do you first hear it? Is it a demo that you're hearing, or you say, well, this would sound better if my guy would be playing this part, or we're going to change this up a little bit, the name, the title, a lyric? Kind of tell us about that when the song's fresh and you hear it for the first time, and then about you going in there and making some changes that suit you, or however you do it.
Well, as far as changes that I made, it was simply some phrasing and kind of the way that it was done by a demo singer, like probably in Tennessee somewhere. The music was all there, and it was like, you know what, this is pretty good music. Of course, Chaz at the label, he wants to kind of make sure that we're doing it our way. So we get guys in there and throw on the instrumentation, that I requested or that he thought would be a good idea, and that's just, we kind of rebuild the song that way with our way. Uh-huh. But as far as lyrics go, I was kind of asking if I could have any type of leeway with that, but it was kind of a take it as is sort of a thing.
Okay.
So I didn't get any, and I wasn't doing it to get writers credit on it. It's just things that I thought might suit me as an artist a little bit better than some of the words used, but it's all pretty universal. I mean, it's not like, it wasn't a big enough deal to throw a fit over, so we did the song anyway.
Well, that's exactly what I asked the question for. That's what I wanted to know. Sometimes that happens, doesn't it? They say, nope, here's the way it's going to be, and that's it.
That's it.
And
they got enough writers on that song. They don't need another guy.
Right? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's hear the final version. We're going to play it for the folks. It's Dave Nudo with the Dave Nudo Band. You Could Do Better on KICR Indie Country Radio, and we'll be back with him in just a moment.
Look at you, baby, baby, that's what everybody does every time you walk by. Then they look at this poor boy walking there beside you and scratch their heads and wonder why. Scale of 10, you're 11, and I barely made it past 12th grade. Only flaw you've been given is when it comes to picking, man, you got some piss poor taste. You could do better than a muddy boot wearer. You can have any man you want, any fool can see. You could do better, but I'm damn sure glad you don't. I know your mama likes me, but your dad's a different story. Guess he had higher hopes for you. I made a hell of a mess with your trust fund ex when I knocked him out with the bull cue. Hey, I know you could find somebody a little more refined, a little less beer and barbecue. But I thank God above me, somehow you love me. Every morning I parade, never dawns on you. You could do better than a dirty blue collar. You could have any man you want, any fool can see. You could do better, but I'm damn sure glad you don't. You could do better than this poor soul digger. You could have any man you want, any fool can see. You could do better, but I'm damn sure glad you don't mind my little too redneck side, my little too country pride, and I wonder why. You could do better than this muddy boot wearer. You can have any man you want, any fool can see. You could do better, but I'm damn sure glad you don't. Even I can't see. You could do better, but I'm damn sure glad you don't.
Dave Nudo with the Dave Nudo Band. Man, you got a hit song on your hands right there. You Could Do Better. I don't know if you could. That's pretty good right there.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Don Swartz, my vice president, loves it. He's from Nashville, and he said in the chat room they got 3 inches of ice in Nashville and now 7 inches of snow on top of it. So,
oh, man.
Boy, I'll tell you what, our hearts and prayers go out to the people of Texas, and I've got some relatives down there, and my wife does too, of people that are still out of power here for about the last 4 days, and it's pretty sad to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. I just talked to my aunt for about 5 minutes earlier today, and she said over in the Portland, Oregon area was the same thing. An ice storm had taken out the power since last Friday.
Wow.
I was like, well, geez, I had no idea.
Yep. Well, hopefully we keep power tonight, and we got another interview coming up here in about 30 minutes, and then we're going to do some classic country music too. So I'll probably get some Alabama in there for you. I'll dedicate a song to you.
Oh, I appreciate it.
You bet. Hey, it's been great talking to you. Time flies when you're having this much fun, but before I let you go, tell us where folks can find Dave Nudo on social media.
Well, we got the Facebook page, Dave Nudo Band, or you can search Dave Nudo Music or whatever. It'll take you there.
Okay.
For a list of all of our shows that are coming up, which is quite a few this spring, you can go to davenudo.com. It'll take you to the Reverb Nation website for me, and you can hear a couple songs on there, and
that's what I did.
See some pictures of the band and stuff, and merch and all that kind of stuff. So
you've even got some stuff that's downloadable, so that's good stuff, man. Thanks for doing that for us. I appreciate it.
Well, yeah. Trying to spread the word the best I can,
That's awesome. Tell us about this duet now that you did with Dusty Lee that we're going to take us out of the interview. Like You Were Forbidden's the title of us. Tell us kind of how this came about.
Well, that was the one that I said I woke up kind of with the lyric and melody in my head, and went and wrote it down and got it down on a voice recording, and then I showed that to Wade. I sent it over to show Dusty's husband, Wade, just because I thought it was cool, and it wasn't a duet at the time. In my mind, it was just a cool new song. And I showed it to my wife, Tara, actually, and she said, you should see if Dusty Lee wants to sing a duet with you on this. And I thought,
yay, Tara.
Weird. Yeah. That's a good idea. And then Wade texted me back about it about 5 minutes after Tara said that. He says, what would you think about doing this with Dusty Lee as a duet? I said, Tara just suggested the same thing. That's a great idea. Let's do it. So
See, that's why we want to bring you guys together and do kind of a festival similar to what Wade does, because I know a lot of that cool stuff like that is going to happen out of it. You're going to meet these other artists, male or female or whatever, and great friendships are going to come out of it, and collaborations in music and some great duets. You guys might sit down and write a whole album together. Who knows? And
you never know, man. Yeah. That sounds glorious.
And that's what we want to do. And man, more than ever, we need to get back to live music, don't we?
Oh, man. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir there.
Well, absolutely. Well, hey, have a couple of good shows next week at the Steakhouse and some other venues you got going on, and you can find that just like I did real easy by Googling Dave Nudo Band, and find out where he's going to be. If you're in the area, go see him. And hopefully we're going to get some snow melt here this weekend. It'll be in the 50s, so hopefully that travels your way a little bit too, and you guys can get back on the road a little bit.
That'd be nice,
well, be safe out there, and thanks for a great radio interview tonight, man. It's been a blast.
Yeah, it sure has. Hey, check it out on Spotify, too, by the way.
Absolutely. Will do. Let's play the song with Dusty Lee and Dave Nudo, Like You Were Forbidden.
Whiskey at the altar, driving 90 miles an hour through town. An apple from the tree of knowledge, to never be touched and never pulled down. A campfire in the middle of August, it may burn us up, but I'd strike that match. Off limits, but baby, just give me the chance, and I'm gonna love you like you were forbidden, like knowing you meant I could lose it all. I'll pray all my sins forgiven, like you couldn't catch me after I fall, like we both know there's no tomorrow, and this moment we're in is our last. So I'm gonna love you like you were forbidden. Oh baby, just give me your hand. Oh, baby, just give me your hand. Tell me no.
Say you have to go home.
We both know wrong from a right. And if you don't,
I'll ask you to stay.
and baby, you'll be mine tonight. And I'm gonna love you like you were forbidden. Like knowing you meant I could lose it all. I pray all my sins forgiven. Like you couldn't catch me after I fall. Like we both know there's no tomorrow. And this moment we're in is our last. And I'm gonna love you like you were forbidden. Oh baby, just give me your hand. Baby, just give me your hand.
This hour of Today's Country with Tim Kelly is sponsored by OutHouseTickets.com, helping save the small venues. Small event venues have been entirely shut down due to COVID-19. Countless people have lost 100% of their income overnight. It's not only the performers and producers that are affected, thousands of jobs rely on the small venues to survive. Why not donate a few dollars today to help save the small venues and keep live music alive? Visit OutHouseTickets.com to donate today and save the small venues.
Another hour of the best in new country starts now. On Indie Country Radio, New Country's best.
If I ever stop looking at you with stars in my eyes, oh, there's something ain't right. If I ever stop putting my hair up the way that you like, if I don't even try, if it's 9 p.m. and we're calling it a night, baby, push me up against the wall and kiss me. Take the moment, draw it out and make it slow down the way that we do now. Trace your fingers down my curves and let it lead me back to where I found heaven on your lips. If we ever lost this, I couldn't stand it. Don't you ever let me take you for granted. The way that you say, baby, you're gorgeous when I'm waking up, and you wanna make love, the little things you do, making me feel like there's no other woman. You only want me, I only want you for the rest of my life. Push me up against the wall and kiss me. Take the moment, draw it out and make it slow down the way that we do now. Trace your fingers down my curves and let it lead me back to where I found heaven on your lips. If we ever lost this, I couldn't stand way that we do now. Trace your fingers down my curves and let it lead me back to where I found heaven on your lips. If we ever lost this, I couldn't stand it. Don't you ever let me take you for granted. Oh, don't you ever let me take you for granted.
Her name is Jaden Michaels. That is making her radio debut on KICR Indie Country Radio with a great tune called Granted. Well, we'll give you about another 15 minutes of music before I have another great radio interview with Mr. Dan Ogden coming up here in just a little bit. But I want to say thank you to my good buddy, Mr. Dave Nudo from Idaho, for a great radio interview tonight. And go check him out. Dave Nudo Band, just Google it. You'll be able to find him and the great music that he makes. Got a lot of great singles, and we have several of them. I'll be playing them for you as the shows continue. And we're going to continue tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Time live from Branson, Missouri, the live entertainment capital of the world. So be sure to be here. We'd love to see you in our live chat room as well. Found this new band on TikTok and everywhere else on social media. You're going to like this next song, making their radio debut right now on KICR Indie Country Radio. They are called Tainted Lyric, and this is The Road I'm On KICR Indie Country Radio, KUHSdenver.com, and Country Road 58.
This road I'm on, well, it's been a rough one. Well, I've been up and I've been down and I've been lonesome. This road I'm on, well, it's ever winding. With every right, there's a wrong, and I'm reminded every struggle I go through is one more song down this road I'm on. Well, sometimes I feel I can't go on. Just wanna turn around and come to you back home. With every passing mile there's a memory. It's been so long down this road I'm on. This road I'm on, I've come too far. Still chasing down this dream with all my heart. This road I'm on has taken its toll. I learned the hard way, it ain't paved in gold. Well, sometimes I feel I can't go on. Just wanna turn around and come to you back home. Every passing mile there's a memory. It's been so long and so long. This road I'm on, well, it's been a rough one. I've been up and I've been down and I've been lonesome.
A warning to new music beginners. New music can be pointy. Do not run with new music. Ingesting new music could cause euphoric conditions. Smiling may occur. Do not ever point new music at anyone unless you mean to use it. And always get your new music from a reliable source.
Today's country.
Pretty wild.
Broadcasting worldwide from his basement.
You're listening to Tim Kelly
on Indie Country Radio, New Country's Best.
I got a little bit of hometown in my roots that I can't ever let go. Keep a little bit of dirt underneath these boots. You turn on my radio, you'll hear a little George Strait, little bit of Hank coming through the speakers. And that girl riding shotgun, she's a good one, yeah, she's a keeper. I got a good view of a sunset, a southern belle spinning around in a sundress. You should hear the drawl when she starts to talk, y'all, I ain't done yet. I got some true friends I can lean on, a two-lane this old truck can speed on. I'm just living life like a country song. Ain't rich, but I got everything I want. Yeah, I got everything I want. Hell, I might not know where I'll be in 20 years, but I'd be lying if I said this life wasn't cut out for me. Working each day for another dollar, no, I wouldn't trade this blue collar to live it any other way. Yeah, 'cause at the end of every day, I got a good view of a sunset, a southern belle spinning around in a sundress. You should hear the drawl when she starts to talk, y'all, I ain't done yet. I got some true friends I can lean on, a two-lane this old truck can speed on. I'm just living life like a country song. Ain't rich, but I got everything I want. I got a good view of a sunset, a southern belle spinning round in a sundress. You should hear the drawl when she starts to talk, y'all, I ain't done yet. I got some true friends I can lean on, a two-lane this old truck can speed on. I'm just living life like a country song. Ain't rich, but I got everything I want. Yeah, I got everything I want. Yeah, yeah, everything I want.
That is the latest single from Blake Wood. That is called Everything I Want. That is another fantastic song. I've had a couple of his, holding on to them, but I really love that one, and we're going to play the heck out of that. I love it, absolutely. Well, let's debut this next artist. His name is Brian, B-R-Y-A-N, Brian Martin. This is called Beauty in the Struggle on KICR, Indie Country Radio, KUHSdenver.com, and Country Road 58.
She's as real as it gets and there ain't no way around it. There's a road that's been through hell, she's been down. She's been mistreated, she's been lied to. She's seen her share of trouble, but that girl, she's a beauty in the struggle. 'Cause she ain't all about herself, she ain't one to ask for help. She's that diamond that you find when you've been left behind. You're sifting through the rubble, yeah, that girl, she's the beauty in the struggle. Carries a weight that most could never handle, picking up the pieces of a heart that's been dismantled. She's a good friend, she's a fighter, she's watched her whole world crumble. But that girl, she's the beauty in the struggle. She ain't all about herself, she ain't one to ask help. She's that diamond that you find when you've been left behind. You're sifting through the rubble, yeah, that girl. She's the beauty and the struggle. She ain't all about herself. She ain't one to ask for help. She's that diamond that you find when you've been left behind. You're sifting through that rubble, yeah, that girl. She's the beauty and the struggle. She's the beauty and the struggle.
Great country tunes on the radio.
Get it. Today's country.
I love absolutely every single song they play.
This station is dangerously good.
This is Today's Country.
I like the music.
I like the DJs.
There's even more to like.
I like everything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
More of today's new country now.
I love the music.
You're listening to Indie Country Radio and KUHSdenver.com.
Now this is my kind of country.
New country.
New country.
New country.
Yesterday's dirty dishes sitting at the table with us. You stopped by for a smoke and a beer a couple hours ago, but you're still here. Fish sticks and mayonnaise, bush lights in a purple haze. Ain't a thing that I would trade for these moments with you, dear. I wanna bottle you up, I wanna take you home, I wanna put you on a hanging shelf, nice and close, so I could take you down when I'm feeling blue. Pour myself a big old glass of me and you. I wanna bottle you up. Looking like you crawled out of bed, tangled up in a spider web. You probably got a pounding head, last night's smoke on your breath. But you're sure looking pretty to me. You're like a tank of gasoline. Light a match within 10 feet and I bet you'd start to scream. I wanna bottle you up, I wanna take you home, I wanna put you on a hanging shelf, nice and close, so I can take you down when I'm feeling blue. Pour myself a big old glass of me and you. I wanna bottle you up. Drop by here every week, bumming beers and heads of weed. We sit around and we shoot the breeze with little cups of homemade wine. My daddy used to make a homemade brew, Mama used to drink it too. They get drunk in the afternoon and they dance in the living room. I wanna bottle you up, I wanna take you home, I wanna put you on a low hanging shelf, nice and close, so I can take you down when I'm feeling blue. Pour myself a big old glass of me and you. I wanna bottle you up. Yeah.
His name is Joe Stam, S-T-A-M-M, with the Joe Stam Band, and that is an awesome tune called Bottle You Up. Well, we've been bottling up this next artist for a while, and tonight, now it's time for our interview, so let's break out Mr. Dan Ogden. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you, Tim?
I'm doing fantastic. Yeah, thanks for being on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And you are calling from Nashville, right?
Yes, I am.
Absolutely. And we've been talking off the air about the weather, so we don't want to bore them with all that, but I guess you guys got quite a bit of ice and snow too.
Yeah, sure did. It's pretty much shut down, Nashville.
Yeah.
Bunch of the music venues and whatnot, the little ones that are open right now.
Yeah, and, and that's sad to have seen what's happened to this town with COVID coming in and everything in Nashville.
Absolutely.
And Branson kind of got that way too. And me and my brother was here around Christmas time, and we went to some shows together. And it's a lot different this year than it normally is in Branson. The traffic and the people just aren't there, and a lot of the shows shut down, but there still are some going.
Right, that's very true.
Yeah. So, tell us about how you ended up in Nashville, Tennessee, and in this crazy country music business.
Well, I'm originally from California.
Ah. What part? What part?
Lompoc, a small town called Lompoc, California.
I lived in Escondido for 4 years, around San Diego.
Oh, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so around that area, Santa Barbara area.
Yeah.
And at 18, decided to come out here. Didn't know anybody or anything like that, and just sort of had to take the ups and downs with it,
Uh-huh.
So it's just part of being in Nashville, and I've been here a good little while now, so
yeah.
I settled in.
Yep.
So it's been a great climb, a great start here for new music.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, they call it Music City for a reason, don't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of walks of music out here. You got the blues, you have Americana,
mm-hmm.
folk, bluegrass, country, of course.
Yep.
But it's a really big melting pot for a lot of artists and musicians.
Yeah, I have missed going there. It's been a couple of years now since we've been. We like to hang out every couple of years at the Nashville Universe Awards that they do at the Wild Horse Saloon, and we won a couple of those in 2016, and I was fortunate enough to have Mr. Stormy Warren hosting the show that year and got to get the awards from him from Sirius XM The Highway, and that's a big deal to me being in radio. I love that, but
absolutely.
What I love even better is putting great music on the radio, and maybe a lot of times doing it for the first time. I've debuted several tonight that that I had never even heard before, and I've done this now for 8 years, so
right.
It's fantastic and a lot of fun to me to get to debut and talk and meet new artists and interview guys like you on the radio. And you hit me up with this song that we're going to play here in a little bit called Hattie Blue, and I was very intrigued by this one. It is really good.
Well, that was with the great help of Bobby Layton.
Uh-huh.
That just came around, and he took his Mississippi lyrics and I threw in my California Western style,
yeah.
and it just came out, in one day. So I'm glad you like. I'm glad there's a place for people like me can, get some airtime and really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All you're doing for.
Yeah, and I've been working with Bobby Layton for a little bit too, and he's pitching me some stuff all the time in my email. I'm finding things from him, so that's awesome. I didn't remember correlating you with Bobby Layton, but that's good stuff there. Yeah. So, now talk about how you got interested in wanting to do country music, living in California, and I lived out there 30 years ago. Wasn't really into country then. I was going to broadcasting school at the time that was in the 80s, and I was playing 80s music like Whitney Houston, REO Speedwagon, Chicago, Journey, that kind of stuff.
I sort of went through my phases when I was younger of what kind of music I really liked. And as I got older, I started transforming into the country sound. And not only that, at the time, I started as a teenager, started writing blues and being around. There's, believe it or not, a bunch of country out there.
Wow.
Riding
bulls in California.
And
wow.
stuff like that. And
yeah.
Yeah, so, just lived it, and I just wanted to go to Nashville,
Uh-huh.
There's this guy that played at our church, and he just got back from Nashville, and he's talking about all these places here and how it is. And I gave up 2 scholarships, and I came out here at 18.
Wow.
My parents weren't too happy about that. But
well, I'll tell you what, that's one thing I've never done was ride a bull, but I shoot a lot of it here on the radio program. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Now we're on the air.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what did you get 2 scholarships in?
In academics.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I was going to go to Pepperdine and checked out that school, and then West Naples Academy. So,
yeah,
that was basically it. It was just all. I was academically, you can't tell why I'm speaking, but I was pretty inclined to the good grades. I don't know how, but yeah.
That's awesome. I was the kind of student that was like, man, if I can get out of here with the C, I'm good. But, when I quit school at a young age, and then I went and got my GED, and I never really cared for science that much in school, but when I did my GED testing, that was my best grade, was in science. So
there you go.
And now look at us. We hit Mars today. Isn't that something?
Absolutely.
So study your science projects, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Pick up that guitar.
I posted here just a little bit ago, kind of funny, but it's kind of not. I mean, with all this bad weather we're having, they put out a school closings list, and I'm still seeing those, and it's a little late for me. I've been out 40 years now, so.
Oh, I hear you.
They never closed the schools down when it snowed when I was a young man.
Oh, they sure do here too, as well.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Well, in Branson, if it snows 3 inches, they're closing the schools down because it's so hilly here. The buses can't run. So,
right, absolutely.
And then, of course, with COVID now, we've got going on a lot of this e-learning that they have been doing from home anyways, and everything, because there hadn't been schools. So it's good to see that that's kind of eased up and coming back, and the schools are open. But, the bars and restaurants and these live venues, they need to follow suit here pretty soon. I know the cases are coming down finally, so everybody's trying to do the right thing, and then we got these vaccines going on. But, boy, it's I know you're missing it if you live in Nashville and performing and going out to see live music. It's got to be rough living in that town with the way it is now, huh?
Well, it's been difficult, but I surround myself around really good friends, and one particular mentor of mine, Tommy Emmanuel, he's been a really good buddy of mine through a lot of good and bad, and it's taught me how to write a little better, and I don't know, just write songs a little bit on a little bit mature level.
Yeah.
But still have the fun to it,
Okay, that's awesome.
So, it's just one of those things that's sort of, it's a new thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but it's pretty cool.
You don't have to be exact, and I'm sure you can't be, but how many songs would you say you've written now since you started doing that?
I absolutely don't. I couldn't even tell you. I remember the first song I ever wrote, I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
It was had a crush on this girl named Julie, and anyways, I just said her name over and over again. It was pretty pathetic, but I'd stare at her and be like, Julie Semensky, whatever. But so there's a lot of stuff, just all throughout growing up, just writing songs, and so I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that's that's something. I was kind of the same way. You have those crushes on girls when you're that young, and then you get social media comes along, 35, 40 years later or whatever, and you reconnect with some of those. We've got, in my high school, we've got a class of 81 was my class. That tells you how old I am. So that's been a few years ago, but there's a social media group for our high school class so we can keep up with everybody. And, I haven't been to one of our reunions yet, but our 40th is coming up this year. So
that's great.
It's just kind of neat to reconnect with those. But, you know, I never thought about writing a song about any of them. But, yeah, that's pretty cool that you did that.
Well, you know, you add into a bunch of relationships and, you know, ups and downs. And, you know, there's a lot of inspiration, especially, you know, having good co-writers with me too.
Yeah.
I need to mention Sam Cooper. He's been a real good blessing to, you know, go in there and record and give his time and stuff like that. So it's been really good. And I'm thinking by the end of next month, we'll have a whole new rest of the record finished. So.
Okay. You making an album or an EP or?
Well, starting off with the EP, and then we're going to go ahead and release the full album.
Okay.
Shortly after. So
awesome.
That's the plan. We're trying to get geared up here to go touring in April. Hopefully, God willing.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll just see how it goes.
There you go. Now, living in California and coming to Nashville, Tennessee, who were some of the folks that you listened to that made you want to do this country music thing? Maybe artists that we would know that really inspired you.
Well, it was definitely Merle Haggard.
Merle.
I loved his stuff. I loved Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
I liked a lot of Vince Gill and old Vern Gostin stuff.
Oh, nice.
What a great voice he had.
Yeah, I've got a song on the classic country program I'm going to play tonight. Is It Raining at Your House? You know, it was snowing here the other day, but he made a hit song out of that.
Sure did.
You know, and I'm friends with his wife, actually. She's a promoter of some artists that I have been interviewing here just recently, too. So I asked the artist, I said, her name's Beverly Gosden Jenkins. I said, I know she's probably related to Vern. And he goes, yeah, that's his widow, and we're Facebook friends. And she's been pitching me lots of artists to interview. So I'll play one of Vern's songs tonight for you and her.
Hey, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, in California, I don't know how long you were there, but I haven't been there in 30 years. And when I was there, I hated the traffic in California as bad as it is in Nashville right now.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, that's one of the reasons I did move away.
Yeah.
Just get away from.
Same here.
You know, that and just settle down. And back when I first got here, I remember it wasn't as metropolitan as it is now. So the traffic is absolutely crazy now.
Yeah. Yep.
So
well, the reason I asked that or was leading up to that, you know, is because there are so many people, and it just amazes me that are moving to Nashville, trying to make it in this crazy world of country music. And but there is so much talent out there, and I see it every day that I wake up and check my email. I get something new that is fresh and person I've never heard of before, and they got potentially hit songs. And that's why I keep doing this, because I think radio and sometimes you can't blame Nashville on everything, but kind of the direction that country music has gone here in the last several years, you know. I like to bring it back to the more kind of style like you sing in Hattie Blue. That's an awesome song. And you know, more of a traditional type country music style. That's what I think is missing right now, don't you?
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally do. You know, a lot of that stuff I love, like, not real traditional. This was like in the 90s. I like, you know, like Alan Jackson and
oh yeah,
Clint Black and
Tracy Lawrence,
George Strait, Tracy Lawrence, yeah. So I was in all that, and then it sort of slowly started progressing to something it's definitely a different sound.
Yeah, and that's
it's different.
That's the one I love. Tracy Lawrence was the first country music concert I went to in Ardmore, Oklahoma. I went and saw him. David Ball and Wade Hayes opened for Tracy Lawrence.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you remember your first one?
Which one?
Do you remember your first concert that you went to?
That I went to or I played in?
Either one.
I didn't really go to concerts per se. Like, I can't remember. I think I saw Diamond Rio and Tim McGraw, I think.
Yeah.
And that's really all the concerts that I really went to. But
hey, there's a couple of good ones.
Yeah.
I got lucky one time. I work security, and I've been doing that for 10 years. That's my full-time gig, and I got to work security for a Hunter Hayes concert here in Springfield, Missouri, and Danielle Bradbury and Dan and Shay opened up for Hunter Hayes. So I was 20 feet from the stage. They put me in a good spot.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yep, get paid to go to a concert. If you can do that, then that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. So let me ask you, what would be Dan Ogden's dream gig? Who would you like to open for or do a duet with on the big stage, living or past? Any artist?
I'd like to do probably a show with Craig Morgan again.
Craig Morgan.
Remember?
Okay.
Yeah, me and I was in a duet band, and we opened up for him and played a little round, little venues and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be cool, just to maybe work with him again. Of course, a Del McCoury band, but it's been a while, but I really couldn't tell you. I still love Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, no problem there. I've had people tell me from everywhere, rock or country, either one, artists that they would love to perform with. But that's why I asked that question, because I never really know what I'm going to hear.
Definitely.
I have young girls that still talk about Patsy Cline, that, she's been gone longer than they've been alive, and she inspired so many of these young female artists to make country music that they still talk about her, to this day.
Right, absolutely.
And
Hank Sr. and and all of them.
Yep,
absolutely. Of course, Dolly Parton, she's still around. She's doing great.
Yep. And if you come to Branson, there's some great tribute shows to those folks. Guy I used to work for does one to Marty Robbins. There's a great John Denver tribute here. That, of course, George Strait. My buddy does that. My brother used to work for him, and so there's a lot of great tribute shows. And country music is still a big thing in Branson. Mickey Gilley still has a theater here, but he's not performing like he used to. I mean, his health's really getting up there now. He's in pretty poor health, but. Glenn Campbell, Roy Clark, those guys had theaters here in Branson. Mel Tillis used to perform here all the time. So they are still big on country music, and that's what I want to bring back to Branson. And we're planning a 3-day country music festival, going to call it Indie Country Fest. And we're just trying to nail down a venue and a date, and we're going to make that thing happen.
Absolutely. That sounds fantastic.
So, yep, just live music, food, and fun. No award shows, nothing like that. No voting polls or any of that stuff. Just good music.
Sounds great.
Speaking of good music, I think we need to put one called Hattie Blue on the air. Tell me about this song, and did you write it, or?
Yeah, I co-wrote it with Bobby Layton.
Bobby Layton? Okay.
And long story short, he lives out in Mississippi, and so when we have a lot of writing, I wouldn't call it a session, but he'll come out here and we'll just sit and write, all day long. And that song just came. He had the line, and it was about this woman that used to live back when he was growing up, and she was, you'll hear the lyrics, but it's basically poking fun because, like we're thinking, doesn't every town probably has a Hattie Blue in it? You just never know. So yeah, and that's how that song popped out. I started playing the melody and added some more to it, and yeah, that's basically how it started.
That's awesome. Well, let's play it for the folks, and if you can hang out with us for about another 10 minutes, we'll come back and talk a little bit more and play another one of your songs. His name is Dan Ogden, O-G-A-N. Mr. Dan Ogden with Hattie Blue on KICR, Indie Country Radio.
Down in Old Dirt Road, as the story goes, there's a woman with a heart of gold. She'll pick you up, drag you down, the best ride in this town. Hattie Blue. She wasn't a saint nor a sinner,
lending a hand to all the beginners on a Saturday night. She'll love you right, bring a grown man to his knees. Ooh, Hattie Blue, Hattie Blue, front view used, as sweet as she can be. When the preacher tried to reach her, she became the teacher. Now the preacher's life is through. Ooh, Hattie Blue. Where the crowd runs thin, neon lights help her blend right in. Everybody knows in this one-horse town, if you called on her, she'd come around. Ooh, Hattie Blue. Hold on, preacher, teacher, hold on, teacher, preacher, hold on, teacher, preacher, hold on. Ooh, yeah. Hattie Blue, front view used, as sweet as she can be. When the preacher tried to reach her, she became the teacher. Now the preacher's life is through. Ooh, Hattie Blue. Ooh, Hattie Blue. Yeah, everybody knows one or two Hattie Blues.
Everybody knows a Hattie Blue. I guarantee you there's a Hattie Blue in that little town of Branson that's only population is 10,000 and something. So.
Yeah, you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a little fun song, I guess you would say.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Keep making those. That's what I like, is those little fun songs. That's the first song you sent me that I heard, and I liked it. So, I was like, yeah, we'll put that on the radio.
Right, and I was like, okay, cool. I appreciate it.
That's how it works. And I don't know how you found me or found this radio station, but, it's a pretty neat thing to connect with somebody on social media and then go from that point to putting your song on the radio, and then here we are doing a radio interview. It just happens. Absolutely. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there comes times, too, where it's just like, am I ever going to be heard or anything? Because like you said, there's so many good artists out there, and there's so much talent.
Yep.
And to go back to what you were saying earlier, it's pretty sad when you go through these used guitar shops and pawn shops, and they're full all the time because people will come out here for 6 months and just go home,
Man.
So
it's changed so much in the music industry from the way it used to be. You probably remember hearing about it, and I'm the same way. When, let's say, artists like Loretta Lynn, she was going out to pitch Coal Miner's Daughter. Well, she would actually take that produced record, that little 45 or the full album, in the radio station and say, hey, would you play this on the radio? It does not work like that anymore. You would go absolutely all day long pitching music, and you'd be lucky if you got one radio station, nowadays to play your song. But when you do it on MP3 and put it out there, you can send it out all over the world in no time to tons of radio stations, and that's how we ended up with it. So
absolutely,
it's totally changed from the way it used to be, and I'm all about new music, and there's a lot of radio stations like us out there that love the indie country music, as it's called, because you're an independent artist and you're doing this on your own, and you need more support than the big labels, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's for all the artists out there. This is a really cool deal that you have going on.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate doing it.
I just appreciate your time too.
Yeah, Thursdays and Fridays are my fun nights, and I talked to Dave Nudo here just a little bit, and we're good friends. We interviewed tonight for the second time, but we work harder at something that we're passionate about than we do at our full-time gigs that pay us money, don't we?
That's true. Yeah.
You know, and if you love something, you're gonna do it because of that love for music or making music, and I'm sure you're just like a lot of these Nashville people, like you said, they end up selling their guitars, but you probably spend a lot of time picking and writing new music and doing that, don't you?
Well, yeah, absolutely, and it's surrounding myself with positive, you know, people that are on the same kind of venture as the song goes.
Yeah.
So, you know, just to have that camaraderie is pretty cool with, you know, some very good people. So.
Yep. And I talk about family support all the time, you know. Now, we talked off the air a little bit that you're not married, but you do have a couple of children, and you told me that they are musically inclined. So tell me a little bit about that, kind of what are their ages and what they want to kind of do with it.
Oh, shoot, I have Zoe, and Zoe is 16 right now.
Uh-huh.
And then Brianna is almost 18. Okay. So, yeah, they're both, you know, into music and arts and stuff like that.
Now, are they into country music? Do they want to be the next Taylor Swift or Carrie Underwood or somebody like that? Or
well, they're into their own style, I guess, like bluesy. One's into bluesy kind of stuff, and the other one's more so into hip hop kind of sound.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
So,
hey, nothing wrong with that, you know.
No.
You know, that's I never thought I would get into the country genre of doing radio, you know, but when I started in the 90s, I married a girl from Oklahoma, and when we moved down there, that's what everybody listened to. So what I was doing, the 80s thing in California, you know, I decided when guys like Garth Brooks and Toby Keith and Vince Gill started coming up and making music from Oklahoma, and then here comes along Blake Shelton. We were living in Ada, Oklahoma when Blake started doing his thing, and that's where he's from. And so I was like, you know what? This truly is three chords and the truth. You can understand the words. It has great melodies, and I love the stories that country music tells. And that's why I like doing these interviews. I love talking to the country music artists.
Yeah, it's quite an experience just writing a song and, you know, the whole process of it, and having something that you feel is good enough. And the cool part is when other people like it, that's, you know, the payoff for me as the songwriter and singer and musician. So
yep, absolutely,
that's the best thing. All the people out there, the people supporting, and fans out there. When I'm saying like people that are into the kind of music and dig the kind of stuff that, you know, I'm trying to do. I guess, you know.
Oh yeah. I'm the same way about this radio show. When somebody likes it to the point where they want to download it, or they want me to be on their radio station and put the show out there to other folks, like the Denver station or the one in Germany hitting me up here a while back, that is awesome, because they want to help us get this music out there too. Because it's not about me, and it's not about, you know, me talking on the radio. It's about the music. Every time I push play or talk to you guys in these interviews is why I do this.
Right, and I really appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. Hey, we're going to play another song called Stonewall as we go out of the interview, and boy, time flies when you're having this much fun. So,
doesn't it?
Yeah, 30 minutes, man. I'll tell you what, it's already gone. But I want to thank you for doing this, Mr. Dan Augen. You're awesome. And tell us where folks can find you on social media.
On social media, you could go to Dan Augen Music at gmail.com.
Okay.
And you can also go to Reverb Nation at gmail.com.
Okay.
You can find some music on there, and you go to the my Gmail, and I have a few acoustic versions of songs.
There you go. All right.
So,
I'm a real lucky guy because I get it through my email, so that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, I appreciate you sending it to me as well, and talking to me, and you know, this friendship will continue. So anything you get new that you come out with that you want to help promote, we're here for you, man. Hit me up again.
Appreciate it, buddy.
We'll love to put you on the radio again.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to play your song Stonewall, and this is Dan Ogan right here on KICR Indie Country Radio.
Suicide. Never ask the reason why these days that I survive. Searching for the reason why my life is going slow. Dancing memories, some people never know. Up against Stonewall again. Rarely ever knowing who's my friend. Up against Stonewall. Is all I seem to find. Been many fences left so far behind. Live in a wasted town, emptiness is all that's found. Heading back to stories told, bend my will but never stole. I'm against Stonewall again. Rarely ever knowing who's my friend. Up against Stonewall again. Take me down to one away.
Welcome to a full hour of classic country music on KICR Indie Country Radio, KUHSdenver.com, and Country Road 58.
We both said some things I know we never meant. And when I slammed the door tonight, you wondered where I went. If I know you, you're probably wondering what to do. You're thinking that I'm gone for good. If I know you, but if I know me, I'll turn this car around. I won't get halfway through town, and I'll be sorry. I'll stop and call, and you'll say you're sorry too. And I'll come running back to you if I know me. Sometimes I lose my head, say things to break your heart, forgetting if I lost your love, it would tear my world apart. If I know you, you didn't mean one single thing you said. Truth be known, you're dying way through town, and I'll be sorry. I'll stop and call, and you'll say you're sorry too, and I'll come running back to you if I know me. If I know me. And I know
I know me too, and I'm going to play some classic country music this hour. Welcome to the third hour of today's country with yours truly, Tim Kelly. Might as well start off with the king of country music with 60 number one hits, Mr. George Strait and If I Know Me. Well, this next song is quite appropriate. Well, I thought it was going to be. I thought my ship was going to come in this week, and now that lake's all iced over. But anyway, here's Mr. Clint Black, When My Ship Comes In. I guess I'll have to wait another day or two.
No sun on the Rockies, not even the light of day. I feel that old cabin fever coming on, but I know where I'll be when Lady Luck finally blows my way. She'll put the wind in my sails and I'll be gone. It won't be long before my ship comes in, gonna sail right out of Colorado. Catch a ride on a warm trade wind to where to no one knows. She'll find me waiting when my ship comes in, gonna board and go whichever way the wind blows. I'll be off to find myself once again in where to no one knows. When my ship comes in. Maybe I'm only dreaming, but it sure seems real. Somehow the wind doesn't chill quite to the bone. Or could it just be the fever? I'm running on an uneven keel, not losing sight of why I'm up here alone. It won't be long before my ship comes in, gonna sail right out of Colorado. Catch a ride on a warm trade wind to where to no one knows. She'll find me waiting when my ship comes in, gonna board and go whichever way the wind blows. I'll be off to find myself once again in where to no one knows. When my ship comes in, where to no one knows. When my ship comes in, it won't be long before my ship comes in. Where to no one knows. She'll find me waiting when my ship comes in. Where to no one knows. It won't be long before my ship comes in. Ship comes in. When my ship comes in.
Listen to KICR Indie Country Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, powered by Zeno FM. Download the Zeno app wherever you get your apps and search KICR Indie Country Radio.
Is it raining at your house like it's raining at mine. Do you miss me like I miss you? Is it cloudy all the time? Do you tremble when the phone rings and you think I'm on the line? Is it raining at your house like it's raining at mine? Does it thunder and lightning, even when the sun shines? Is it raining at your house like it's raining at mine? Just like it is over here. If it is, then sweetheart, like me, I know you're scared. I just called you to console you, like any old friend would do. Your house. And by the way, I still love you.
What a great song. We talked about that in the interview, and I'll play that for Mr. Dan Ogan. That is Vern Gosdin, Is It Raining at Your House? Well, hopefully it stops snowing anyway. Rob Charles, Little Rock, Arkansas, live in my chat room, says they got 15 to 18 inches. We got 8 or 9 here in Branson, Missouri, but that was plenty. Man, you guys got slammed. Stay safe, stay warm, and stay inside. Hey, I want to dedicate that to Beverly Gosdin Jenkins. She is the widow of Mr. Vern Gosdin. We are Facebook friends, and she's been pitching me a lot of great country music artists. She is a fantastic promoter, too. And so we'll dedicate that to her, and I'll tag her in my playlist as soon as the show is over. Well, do you guys like going back in the classic country music and reliving the songs that actually was the one that launched the career of an artist? We're going to do that right now with the dad of one Miss Miley Cyrus, Mr. Billy Ray Cyrus, and Achy Breaky Heart on KICR Indie Country Radio, KUHSdenver.com, and Country Road 58.
You can tell the world you never was my girl. You can burn my clothes when I'm gone. Oh, you can tell your friends just what a fool I've been and laugh and joke about me on the phone. You can tell my arms go back into the phone. You can tell my feet to hit the floor. Or you can tell my lips to tell my fingertips they won't be reaching out for you no
my mind. It might be walking out on me today. But don't tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart, I just don't think it'd understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart, he might blow up and kill this man. My achy, breaky heart, I just don't think he'd understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart, he mightn't blow up and kill this man.
When you hear George Jones, Trisha Yearwood, and Glenn Campbell, you know you're listening to the best in classic country music on KICR Indie Country Radio.
Bobby played his guitar on the harder side of town, where it's hard for a poor boy to find the money. He had dedication, he had the heart and soul. Somehow knew he was born to play. People said, get a real job, support your family, 'cause there's no future in the road you're taking. Never said a word, the dreamer just kept on. Late at night you could hear him say, he said, I'm gonna be somebody. One of these days I'm gonna break these chains. I'm gonna be somebody someday. Your hard-earned dollar I will. The road was a struggle, it took him 10 years to the top, but now he's number one on the stage and the radio. Still he can't believe how people come from miles around, when it seemed like only yesterday he would say, I'm gonna be somebody. One of these days I'm gonna break these chains. I'm gonna be somebody someday. You can bet your hard-earned dollar I will. Bobby played his hometown one full moon August night, when he heard a voice in the front row singing. It was a sandy-haired river boy with the same old hungry eyes. He looked up at Bobby and said, I'm gonna be somebody. One of these days bet your hard-earned dollar I will. Oh yeah, and bet your hard-earned dollar I will.
That is the reason folks moved to Nashville, to make country music. They're going to be somebody, and you can bet your hard-earned dollar we're going to play him on the radio. Absolutely. Mr. Travis Tritt, Double T, as we call him around here on the classic country music scene. Well, we lost this next gentleman not too long ago on the country music scene. He had a couple of great hits, though, and I'm going to play one of them right now, Mr. Hal Ketchum and Small Town Saturday Night on KICR Indie Country Radio, KUHSdenver.com, and Country Road 58, classic country music.
There's an Elvis movie on the marquee sign. We've all seen at least 3 times. Everybody's broke, Bobby's got a buck. Put $100 worth of gas in his pickup truck. We're going 90 miles an hour down a dead-end road. What's a hurry, son? Where you gonna go? We're gonna howl at the moon, shoot out the light. It's a small town Saturday night. It's a small town Saturday night. Lucy's got a lipstick on a little too bright. Bobby's getting drunk and looking for a fight. Liquor on his breath, trouble on his mind. Well, Lucy's just a kid along for the ride. Got a 6-pack of beer and a bottle of wine. Gotta be bad just to have a good time. They're gonna howl at the moon, shoot out the light. It's a small town Saturday night. It's a small town Saturday night. Bobby told Lucy the world ain't round. Drops off sharp at the edge of town. Lucy, you know the world must be flat. 'Cause when people leave town, they never come back. They go 90 miles an hour to the city limit sign. Put the pedal to the metal before they change their mind. Hey, howl at the moon, shoot out the light. It's a small town Saturday night. Yeah, howl at the moon, shoot out the light. Yeah, it's a small town Saturday night. It's a small town Saturday night. It's a small town Saturday night.
You're listening to Tim Kelly on Indie Country Radio.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
That is absolutely correct, Mr. Lee Greenwood. God bless the USA, and I'll tell you what, our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by this polar vortex, no matter where you are in the USA. We have a lot of friends and family in Texas, and when you have almost 5,000 Facebook friends like yours truly, you know somebody that has been affected by this storm. Now, we got 8 and 9 inches of snow here in Branson, Missouri, but it's a lot worse in a lot of other places in the world, so we want to send our thoughts and prayers out to you folks. Hopefully your power comes on real soon and you can hear the replay of this program. Hey, you're hanging out with one Tim tonight. Would you like to hang out with another one? You can do that on this program as well. Mr. Tim McGraw. This song is called Everywhere. That's right, we're everywhere on KICR, Indie Country Radio, KUHSdenver.com, and Country Road 58.
We were born in this little town. Growing up, I was counting down every single day till we made our getaway. But you said you could never see yourself trying to make a life anywhere else. This would be your home, and I was on my own. But ever since you said goodbye, I've been out here on the wind. And baby, you would be surprised at all the places you have been. I've seen you in Albuquerque, waiting out a blizzard, Arizona, dancing across the desert, watching the sunset in Monterey. Girl, I swear, just the other day you were down in Georgia, picking them peaches. In Carolina, barefoot on the beaches. No matter where you choose to be, in my heart I'll always see you everywhere. Nowadays, when I'm passing through, the conversation always turns to you. And I hear you're doing fine, living out by the county line. Got a man that's home every night, a couple of kids, and the kind of life that you want to lead. Guess you could say the same for me. But you and I made our
places all those years ago. Still I know I'll hear your voice and see you down the road. Maybe in Oklahoma, driving across the prairie. In Dallas, Texas, isn't that where we always said we would like to try? Never did, so maybe that's why you're on every highway just beyond the high things, right beside me and all of my sweet dreams. No matter where you choose to be, in my heart I'll always see you in Albuquerque, waiting out a blizzard, in Arizona, dancing across the desert, watching the sunset in Monterey. Girl, I swear, just the other day you were down in Georgia, picking them peaches. In Carolina, barefoot on the beaches. No matter where you choose to be, in my heart I'll always see you everywhere.
If he don't play that song, I'm gonna spit some chaw in his eye. Get her done.
You're listening to the 2016 Nashville Universe Awards Radio Network of the Year. Indie Country Radio, New Country's Best.
He had plastic bags wrapped around his shoes. He was covered with the evening news. Had a pair of old wool socks on his hands. The bank sign was flashing 5 below. It was freezing rain and spitting snow. He was curled up behind some garbage cans. I was afraid that he was dead. I gave him a gentle shake. When he opened up his eyes, I said, "Oh man, are you okay?" He said, "I just climbed out of a cottonwood tree. I was running from some honeybees, drip drying in the summer breeze. After jumping into Calico Creek, I was walking down an old dirt road, past a field of hay that had just been mowed. Man, I wish you just left me alone, 'cause I was almost home." He said, "I was just coming round the barn about the time you grabbed my arm, when I heard Mama holler, 'Son, hurry up.' I was close enough for my old nose to smell fresh cobbler on the stove, and I saw Daddy loading up the truck. Cane poles on the tailgate, bobbers blowing in the wind. Since July of '55, that's as close as I've been. Yeah, I just climbed out of a cottonwood tree, where I was running from some honeybees, drip drying in the summer breeze.
Calico Creek. I was walking down an old dirt road, past a field of hay that had just been mowed. Man, I wish you just left me alone. I was almost home. I said, oh man, you're gonna freeze to death. Let me drive you to the mission. He said, boy, if you left me alone, right now I'd be fishing. I just climbed out of a cottonwood tree. I was running from some honeybees, drip drying in the summer breeze. After jumping into Calico Creek, I was walking down an old dirt road, past a field of hay that had just been mowed. Man, I wish you just left me alone, 'cause I was almost home. Man, I wish you just left me alone. I was almost home.
We'll send that out to Mr. Dan Ogan, who I interviewed tonight, who got to perform with Mr. Craig Morgan. That is a great tune called Almost Home, and our bank sign was flashing 13 below this week. So there you go, Mr. Craig Morgan. I'll tell you what, I love the story behind that song right there. Well, the reason I asked the artist in interviews if they have any children, and if so, are they musically inclined? Because that happens in the world of country music. This next artist, her father is the one and only Mr. Johnny Cash. He had a great run with this song, and it still gets lots of radio airplay from Roseanne Cash. It is called 7-Year Ache on KICR Indie Country Radio, KUHSdenver.com, and Country Road 58 with classic country music.
You act like you were just born tonight, face down in a memory, but feeling alright. So who does your past belong to today, baby? You don't say nothing when you're feeling this way. The girls in the bars thinking, who is this guy? But they don't think nothing when they're telling you lies. You look so careless when they're shooting that bull. Don't you know heartaches are heroes when their pockets are full? Tell me you're trying to cure a 7-year ache. See what else your old heart can take. Boys say, when is he gonna give us some room? The girls say, God, I hope he comes back soon.
There was one man, Tim Kelly, and there was only one radio station, Indie Country Radio.
What you got if you ain't got love? The kind that you just wanna give away. It's okay to open up. Go ahead and let the light shine through. I know it's hard on a rainy day. You wanna shut the world out and just be left alone, but don't run out on your faith. 'Cause sometimes that mountain you've been climbing is just a grain of sand. And what you've been out there searching for forever is in your hands. And when you figure out love is all that matters after all, it sure makes everything else seem so small. It's so easy to get lost inside a problem that seems so big at the time. It's like a river that's so wide, it swallows you whole. While you're sitting around thinking about what you can't change and worrying about all the wrong things. Time's flying by, moving so fast. You better make it count, 'cause you can't get it back. Sometimes that mountain you've been climbing is just a grain of sand. And what you've been out there searching for forever is in your hands. Oh, and when you figure out love is all that matters after all, it sure makes everything else seem so Sometimes that mountain you've been climbing is just a grain of sand. And what you've been out there searching for forever is in your hands. Oh, and when you figure out love is all that matters after all, it sure makes everything else. Oh, it sure makes everything else seem so
She is in her 16th year of making great country music. That's long enough to be considered classic. From 2005, after winning American Idol, and I know that year because I used to see the sign all the time when I'm driving past Chakota, Oklahoma, home of Carrie Underwood. There's a big sign right there that tells you the year she won American Idol, and so she's been doing this for quite a while. That's a great tune called So Small. Lots of artists have wanted to, and several have done it. That is duets with Carrie Underwood. Brad Paisley's one of them. The great Randy Travis is another. Check out this version to I Told You So from Carrie Underwood and Randy Travis on KICR Indie Country Radio, KUHSdenver.com, and Country Road 58, classic country music.
Suppose I called you up tonight and told you that I love you. And suppose I said I wanna come back home. And suppose I cried and said I think I finally learned my lesson. tired of spending all my time alone. If I told you that I realize you're all I ever wanted, and it's killing me to be so far away, would you tell me that you love me too? And would we cry together? Or would you simply laugh at me and say, I told you so? Oh, I told you so. I told you someday you'd come crawling back and asking me to take you in. I told you so, but you had to go. Now I found somebody new, and you will never break my heart in two again.
If I got down on my knees and told you I was yours forever, would you get down on yours too and take my hand? Would we get that old time feeling? Would we laugh and talk for hours the way we did when our love first began?
Would you tell me that you've missed me too, and that you've been so lonely, and you've waited for the day that I returned,
And we'd live in love forever, and that I'm your one and only? Or would you say the tables finally turned?
would you say I told you so? Oh, I told you so. I told you someday you'd come crawling back and asking me to take you in. I told you so, but you had to go.
Now I found somebody new, and you will never break my heart in two again. Now I found somebody new, and you will never break my heart in two again.
Because there's no such thing as enough country. You know that great song that you just can't get out of your head? We're playing it right now. Wow, it's like we're right there inside your head. Okay, well, maybe not literally. Don't touch that dial!
Broadcasting worldwide from his basement.
To the basement! 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 Up to the basement! To the basement! To the basement!
We've been cleared for takeoff.
You're listening to Tim Kelly
on Indie Country Radio, New Country's Best.
He wore that cowboy hat to cover up his horns. Sweet-talking forked tongue had a tempting charm. Before I turned around, that girl was gone. All I can say is, bartender,
bartender, pour me something strong. Here's to the past, they can kiss my glass. I hope she's happy with him. Here's to the girl who wrecked my world, that angel who did me in. I think the devil drives a coupe de ville. I watched him drive away over the hill, not against her will. I've got time to kill down in Broken Heartsville. It was long and chrome sitting in the lot. Fire engine red, that thing was hot. He revved it up, she waved goodbye. Love's gone to hell and so have I. Here's to the past, they can kiss my glass. I hope she's happy with him. Here's to the girl who wrecked my world, that angel who did me in. I think the devil drives a coupe de ville. I watched him drive away over the hill, not against her will. I've got time to kill down in Broken Heartsville. Here's to the past, they can kiss my glass. I hope she's happy with him. Here's to the girl who wrecked my world, that angel who did me in. I think the devil drives a coupe de ville. I watched him drive away over the hill, not against her will. I've got time to kill down in Broken Heartsville.
What a great tune from Joe Nichols. It is called Broken Heartsville. Well, that's where I'm at right now because the show is about to be over. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We had a great time. I want to thank my special guest tonight, Mr. Dave Nudo from Idaho, for joining me, and also Mr. Dan Ogan from Nashville, Tennessee. Two great radio interviews. If you missed them, you can catch them again on our Spreaker account right off of our website, KICRIndieCountryRadio.com, or on iHeartRadio. Just search KICR Indie Country Radio. Join me tomorrow night live at 7 p.m. Central Time from Branson, Missouri, when my special guest will be Presley Tennant from Team Kelly on NBC's The Voice, and Mr. Lance Curtis as well. Today's Country with Tim Kelly is produced by Tim Kelly Productions. Like us there on Facebook, and we will like you right back. Until tomorrow night, I will see ya on the radio. You guys stay safe, stay warm, and we'll see you here tomorrow night. Bye-bye, everybody.
I can put you in a cornfield in downtown Manhattan. Close your eyes and reel that old zip code. I can put you on a riverbank while you're fighting traffic. I'm a song, I'll see you on the radio. Taking back to high school, gym floor, and a slow dance. First love, first kiss, second base down that old